After the sad event of George Floyd's death revealed the reality of the experiences of many Black people around the world, not only in the hands of law enforcement, but also in the world of work and in many other areas where Black people have been relentlessly, pinned down by the metaphorical neck. Next week is, of course, the anniversary of George Floyd's death. What are your thoughts on how the now famous words "I can't breathe" can be best applied in, to the experiences of some Black people, specifically in the world of work?
I think one of the things, and it's a really, what to say, I think it's quite traumatic that it's such an event that's made it possible for us to talk about race equality in the workplace, which is very important. But also, I think, at least in the UK, we have been able to talk about the different experiences from different groups. So, because in the UK, we used to be known as BAME, Black, Asian, and minority ethnic. And so as Black employees, Black people in the workplace, we have been able to say that sometimes our experiences may be different from Asian colleagues or minority ethnic colleagues. So I think in the overall thing, in the past year, we've been able to discuss the topic. It somehow created the space for us to discuss the topic more.
In my experience, and I can't breathe for me should really be a mantra of oppression, because I think that a lot of Black people in especially in corporate environments, have always sort of had that feeling that they can't necessarily breathe and bring their true self to work. So with what happened with George Floyd, what I noticed is that we all felt a little bit more empowered to speak more about what's happening. Previously, you don't want to be seen as the Black one, you just want to be seen as Amanda Nate, good worker, getting things done. So you never really want to bring too much attention to your race, right? But with what happened last year, everybody felt like we can actually talk. And it was really, in one sense, it was cathartic because it was a lot of shared experiences. But we also need to be mindful that it is trauma, right? It is very traumatic for a lot of us. And for me, I've been in the industry for, I'll give my age right now, but close to 20 years, right? And so there's a lot of things that happened early on in my career that I put to the back of my mind, but then it all came back up last year. So definitely this expression of "I can't breathe" really, what he said hit home in so many different ways.
I think it was definitely an opening and a release for our community to be able to actually speak, as Amanda, you were saying, speak their real feelings. And actually, I think it gave anyone, no matter your ethnicity, the ability to actually just be a little bit more vulnerable. So I think in terms of your question, in terms of how can that experience then be applied to our experience going forwards, I think it's the need that we have to use this continuously to speak up when there are things that happen that are not right. We need to speak up. We need to speak up about when we potentially do not feel included. That behaviour needs to be brought to other people's attention. And equally, I think if you see untoward behaviour, you need to speak up for that as well. So I think that's where we seem to be going towards.